I feel like 9 times out of 10, whenever I see someone complaining about a revenge is bad story, they have a tendency to boil them down to, it only thinks revenge is bad because it's being childish, or it thinks killing makes them just as bad as the person they want revenge on, or it just wants to preserve the status quo. And yeah, sometimes that is what the story is like. Plenty of other times, the story is giving actual good reasons why it's bad that a character is pursuing revenge, and the person complaining just completely ignores it so that they can claim that the story is the one being childish and obtuse. In many of these types of stories, the reason revenge is bad isn't because of some idea that killing is wrong or would make them just as bad as the person who wronged them. It's bad because often revenge is essentially a poison for the person seeking it. Revenge is ultimately motivated by anger, and anger doesn't tend to care who it gets taken out on, just so long as it gets taken out on someone. And while anger does exist for a reason and is even genuinely needed as an emotional outlet, much like sadness is, it's the responsibility of the person themselves to properly control and direct that anger. This is one of the things that tends to determine whether a character's revenge is good or bad. And the contrast between Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride and Benjamin Barker from Sweeney Todd. The Demon Barber of Fleet Street make for a good example of this. Both men seek revenge on a specific individual who wronged them by ruining their life and killing a loved one of theirs. But the reason The Princess Bride never frames Inigo seeking revenge as bad is because he keeps his desire for revenge and the acts he takes because of it focused. Count Rugen is the one who killed his father, and thus Count Rugen is the one who will face his wrath. Even when he has other people he could hurt instead, Inigo chooses to maintain his morality and honor. By contrast, while Benjamin starts off with his focus fixed on Judge Turpin, once it seems like he'll never again get his chance for revenge on him, he starts killing many innocent people through his barbershop who have nothing to do with anything, just so that he can have some kind of outlet for all this anger inside him. He's so consumed by his need for revenge that he has no problem ruining and ending the lives of others and becoming a complete monster. Both stories make it clear that Count Rugen and Judge Turpin are horrible, irredeemable villains who should be killed, and it is a good thing when Inigo and Benjamin kill them. But that doesn't change how bad Benjamin's pursuit of revenge was. Just because Judge Turpin's death was just doesn't mean all the pain and suffering Benjamin caused up to that point was. Just because Judge Turpin was a monster who needed to die doesn't mean the Demon Barber hasn't also become a monster. One of the complaints that especially bothers me is when I see some people complaining about Ed and Reza talking Mustang down from getting his revenge on Envy in Full Metal Alchemist, because it really does feel like these people just ignore everything that's being said and why. Nobody is arguing that Envy doesn't deserve to die. In fact, Reza makes it clear that after Mustang stands down, she will be the one to kill Envy. But Mustang can't be the one to do it. His desire to avenge Mise Hughes had completely consumed him to the point everyone else can see that this won't end just with Envy's death. His anger is going to keep driving him and will turn him into someone they can't follow. Through the story, Mustang has made clear his goal is to one day be the Führer and lead Amestris to a better place. Part of that will involve trying to make peace with the Ishvalans, whom he and the rest of the state alchemists horribly wronged in the past on behalf of Amestris. And how exactly can he ask the Ishvalans to let go of their very justified hatred against his country when even he himself couldn't do it over one guy when the person he cares most about in the world is begging him to? The question is basically, does Mustang actually care about making things better, or does he only care about his own self-satisfaction? In the Justice League two-parter, Hereafter, Toyman seemingly kills Superman, and in grief and to avenge her friend, Wonder Woman is ready to literally put her fist through his head, only to have Flash interfere. Flash, we don't do that to our enemies. Wonder Woman, speak for yourself. Flash, I'm trying to speak for Superman. And Wonder Woman stands down. Because of course she does. Because you're not avenging someone when you're doing something that they themselves would be completely against. That's just you using them as an excuse to do what you want. For as much anger and pain as she's in, Wonder Woman cannot and will not justify to herself that such an act of revenge would be something Superman would have wanted. It's one of the problems many have with the Injustice universe, where Regime Superman essentially uses the death of Lois to justify his takeover of the planet, despite how any proper Lois Lane worth the name would be the first person to have a problem with what he's doing and take a stand against it. Main universe Superman is right. She would be ashamed and disgusted, and no amount of "she'd be alive" justification from Regime Superman changes the fact that everything he did solely for himself, because of his anger, grief, and pain that he's taking out on the rest of the world. Most good stories with a theme of revenge is bad aren't arguing that it's wrong to stand up to those who have wronged you and to fight back against them, to hold them accountable for what they've done, even if it has to be through death. But that doesn't mean that the character seeking revenge has carte blanche to do whatever the hell they feel like. The desire for revenge is something that is far too easy for a person to let completely take them over and drive them to do terrible things, all of which they'll justify to themselves or not even care about because they're so blinded. They're angry and they're going to take it out on something.